26th session of GCP Geography Content Program. As all of you are aware of the fact that this program is entitled for the students who are writing main this year, you are being supported with the solved previous year question so that you are having a ready-made frame towards the answer writing. We all are aware of the fact that it is difficult for us to manage the time with our upcoming main examination, and we are creating a sort of a mire around us and we are running from pillar to post. My advice always is to restrict to your sources and just get on to the framing up of the answer. All of you are entitled to get the benefit of GCP. Only requirement that I have said that you must be writing main this year. Simply send hi to the number given on WhatsApp and will be helping you immediately with the content matter that we are creating. Today I am here to discuss environment. And all of you are aware of the fact that the most dicey topic of our syllabus is environment. And it has to be. Environment is my surrounding, and surrounding involves everything. All the questions that I see from environment geography, whether it is in paper 1 or it is in paper 2, have always created problem towards how to format the answer. And interestingly, I have selected the topic of which I have written the answer that goes with environment management. And of course, as I do, how to integrate it with class notes. So without wasting any time, let us see the questions on environment management asked as PYQs. So talking about the PYQs that I have selected this time for our discussion, I have selected 2 questions. They have been difficult in the framing up of the answer. 2017, perception, attitude, value and emotion, paved theory of environmental management. Key is environment management. Paved theory is one of the approaches to environment management. And 2018 question, explain ecosystem approach to environment management and highlight its advantages and disadvantages. Of course, in this 2018 question, I have got to write about advantages and disadvantages of specification. I don't find that as a specification in 2017 question. But whenever I am talking about something of environment management, I need to talk about whether it is functioning well or not. You have to take into consideration its functioning profile as it is doing justice to what we are targeting. I think it makes very relevant sense that in both these questions, my frame of the answer should be that I must start my answer with what is the requirement of environment management. Environment, my surrounding, involves both biotic and abiotic factors. And because we have been into exploitive use of it, there has been a detrimental effect that we have generated. I have given you the frame. In both these question answers should be introduced with environment as surrounding and general need of environmental management, following which we can specify the theories. Answer to this question thus begins with common answer that for several centuries, I'll be just scrolling through it. Several century environment has provided habitation to humans. We have been utilizing it. We have not been sustaining it. It has been exploitive utilization. And that has created detrimental consequences on environment. And environment management does have attained the center stage. Here begins the key pointers that you should take into consideration as your approach of writing. Taking all the fundamental constituents that we follow on in our environment management strategies, you need to understand that environment management involves processes that minimizes humanity impact on the surrounding, and it is a multidisciplinary aspect which includes 1. Ecological or ecosystem approach, 2018 ka question. 2. Behavior or paved theory, 2017 ka question. 3rd is economic and technological. 4th is integrative and institutional, and 5th is community based approach. जब तक आप अपने आंसर को इस फ्रेम के साथ शुरू नहीं करोगे, आपका आंसर कहीं से भी जस्टिफाइड नहीं. Environment management definitely talks about sustainability, and sustainability talks about ecological, economic and societal aspect. But the question is emphasizing on environmental approaches. Environmental approaches को justify करने के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि आप environmental degradation का एक general introduction दें और जो एक holistic understanding of environmental approach है उसको apply करें. अब जैसे आप 2018 के question को focus करते हो, just talking about ecosystem approach, its benefits and disadvantages, our answer begins there. What is ecosystem approach to environment management? Ecosystem approach to environment management is a strategy for integrating management of land, water and living resources that promotes conservation and sustainable use in equitable way. कुछ तो समझ में आ रहा है हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं. It is all correlated with the CBD and its functioning domain. Ecosystem is functioning unit which is combination of land, air, water and living organism. तो ecosystem approach में तो management of all constituent आएगा. अब यहाँ पर क्या होता है, generally we deviate to what is called environment management principles. हम इसको integrate कर सकते हैं अपने class notes से. Let me just get on there. ये हमारा class notes है right here. When we take up reference of the distinction that goes up with environmental principles, can you notice that there are, I'll just take this here. There are 7 principles. कुछ गलत नहीं है, आप principles लिखो, इसमें कोई गलती नहीं, लेकिन जो आपका focus of answer है वो principles नहीं है. There are 7 principles of environment management. Polluter pay, user pay principles. In India they are mandatory and in most of the countries it is mandatory. Principle of proportionality and principle of participation. इसका support ले लीजिए, क्योंकि जब आप कहते हैं ना environment management incorporate community based approach, environment management incorporate institutional approach, environmental management incorporate technological approach, so you have to take the orientation of administration, participation, apart from the mobilization of what goes in compatibility to individual. तो 7 प्रिंसिपल्स का मेंशन कर सकते हैं जो हमारे क्लास नोट्स में है. हम आगे स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं, 4 प्रिंसिपल्स आपको दिखा दिए, बाकी प्रिंसिपल्स ये हैं. प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ प्रिकॉशन, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इफेक्टिवनेस एंड एफिशिएंसी एंड प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रिस्पांसिबिलिटी. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इफेक्टिवनेस एंड एफिशिएंसी एंड रिस्पांसिबिलिटी is derived from human behavior. I need to develop the understanding that I am utilizing natural asset. Without which I cannot survive. I need to be judicial with its utilization. तो principles मत लिखो, ये हम नहीं बोल रहे, लेकिन environment management का जो approach based question पूछ रहा है तो principle पर focus नहीं होना चाहिए. I hope I am making sense. ये बहुत common mistake है जो students ने किया जब हमने क्लास में assignment question लिया, write this PYQ as assignment question. That is the reason I am emphasizing on. Okay, now if I go back to my written answer. So ecosystem approach पर आप एसोसिएट करेंगे पॉइंटर्स. जैसे हमने पॉइंटर्स बनाए, आई हैव अटैच्ड पीडीएफ, तो आप देख सकते हो, बट जस्ट टू हाईलाइट इट, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ अप्रोप्रिएट साइंटिफिक मेथोडोलॉजी फोकस्ड ऑन लेवल ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. It also recognizes human within their cultural diversity as an integral part of ecosystem. क्योंकि my culture will determine how much of ecosystem services I am utilizing. That is one thing that is very important constituent of ecosystem approach. आपको ecosystem approach को build तो करना ही पड़ेगा. This is point 1. This is point 2. It requires adaptive management to deal with complex and dynamic nature of ecosystem. Ecosystems are not just complex from one location to the other. It is immensely dynamic. It doesn't go with the static reference. तो आप ये create करें in place of getting onto the environmental principles. आप उससे relate कर सकते हो, but your focus cannot be that. We have taken up the pointers. Ecosystems approach does incorporate what is called all-inclusive, and all-inclusive does complementary and interlinked principle. Objective of management of land water, management should be decentralized at the lowest appropriate level, recognizing potential from gains of it and reduce the market distortions. I hope you are understanding. As I highlight these pointers, जो हमने introduction में बताया, ecosystem approach is integrated with all the other approaches that are correlated. क्योंकि ये decentralization favor कर रहा है, authorities को उसकी responsibility justify करने के लिए कह रहा है. It is making the things practical by incorporating cultural and belief or identities of human, because it treats humans to be part and parcel of ecosystem. Answer आप सारे pointers आप देखें. Conservation of ecosystem, change is to be mobilized, and that is the reason application of ecosystem approach in environment management gives me advantages of conservation, sustainable use, fair and equitable sharing of the resource. And mind it, these are the fundamental principles of the umbrella convention on biodiversity conservation और ecosystem management. मेरा आंसर इतना फुल प्रूफ तैयार होता है कि आपने एग्जामिनर को एक pointers of information about why environment management is required and it is done. इसके बाद जो हमने दूसरा आंसर फ्रेम किया उसको हमने फोकस किया है। ये वाला डायग्राम मेरे ख्याल से बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है जब भी आप सारे प्रिंसिपल्स या सारे अप्रोचेस के बारे में लिखो। जैसा हमने बिगनिंग में बताया, डायग्राम ऐड करोगे कि नहीं। हमारे पास डायग्राम ऐड करने का सिंपल रीजन है कि भाई कंटेंट को हमें सारा कुछ डिमार्केट करना है। तो आई नो दैट एनवायरमेंट मैनेजमेंट इज अबाउट इंटीग्रेशन which incorporates equitable sharing, judicial use, conserving biodiversity, and thus it is incorporating environmental sustainability, economic prosperity and social well-being as its 3 pillars. जब आप ये 3 पिलर्स के साथ ये 4 ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को जस्टिफाई कर देते हो तो ये सारी चीजें अपने आप ही फुलफिल हो जाएंगी। मतलब what I have done, I have reduced my area of writing and given examiner the complete purview of the benefits that I can have with ecosystem approach to environment management. ये डायग्राम मेरे ख्याल से एक फुल प्रूफ डायग्राम है towards minimizing your time space requirement and maximizing the quality of your answer. इसको आप इकोसिस्टम मैनेजमेंट अप्रोच पे भी लिख सकते हो और इसको आप पेव थ्योरी बिहेवियरल अप्रोच पर भी लिख सकते हो। कंटेंट में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस डालना है। इट इज रैपिडली गेनिंग मोमेंटम एंड दैट इज रीजन आई हैव आस्क्ड यू टू टेक इट सेपरेटली। अदरवाइज अभी हमने समझ ही लिया कि भाई इकोसिस्टम अप्रोच इज इंक्लूसिव ऑफ ऑल दी अप्रोचेस, उसमें बिहेवियर, ह्यूमन कल्चर, ह्यूमन परसेप्शन सब कुछ इंक्लूडेड है। बट इट इज रैपिडली गेनिंग मोमेंटम इन एनवायरमेंट मैनेजमेंट। इट फोकसेस ऑन बिहेवियर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ यूसेज ऑफ रिसोर्सेज एंड डायमेंशन ऑफ इट्स मैनेजमेंट, जिसको हम कहते हैं कई बार ओवर इंटेलिजेंस है या आई एम नॉट हैविंग दैट मच ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजिकल कैपेसिटी एंड दैट इज द रीजन आई एम नॉट डूइंग जुडिशियल यूज ऑफ इट। Because we know that IPAT equation में जब हम T की बात करते हैं तो technology has got both detrimental as well as positive outcome on environment. It is how we take it. So you have to take that interweaving. और उसके बाद जब हम थोड़ा सा इसके आगे बढ़ते हैं तो हमने आपको एक एग्जाम्पल दिया है। Though this approach is simplistic, it provides basis for consideration of relationship between environment and this is very important, so I want to highlight it, knowledge, awareness and attitude and how these can translate into action or inaction. यहीं पर एग्जाम्पल दिया है, farmers knowledge of soil and weather conditions constitute perceptional knowledge. This approach involves consideration of 3 basic aspects और ये 3 बेसिक एस्पेक्ट्स क्या करेंगे, ये जस्टिफाई करेंगे कि फार्मर ने किस तरह से अपने एनवायरनमेंट का इस्तेमाल किया है। पेव का केस स्टडी हो गया ये। एन असेसमेंट ऑफ परसीव्ड नॉलेज ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, परसेप्शन ऑफ ऑल्टरनेट लैंड यूज अवेलेबल टू फार्मर, परसेप्शन ऑफ गोल्स सॉट बाय फार्मर्स as whether a farmer is working towards mobilizing subsistence or commercial gain. आप बात समझ रहे हो? आपको बिहेवियरलिज्म, रियलिटी इज रिजाइडिंग इन और कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड बाय ह्यूमन माइंड. दिस इज द अप्रोच दैट इज बीइंग कंसिडर्ड एज आइडियलिज्म इन ह्यूमनिज्म. तो पेव थियरी इज ऑल अबाउट कंसिडरिंग हाउ ह्यूमन बिहेवियर, परसेप्शन, वैल्यू, इमोशन, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से हम सब अग्री करेंगे इन डेवलपिंग वर्ल्ड फार्मर्स आर एक्चुअली स्टिल प्रैक्टिसिंग एग्रीकल्चर as one their hard work and 2 भगवान भरोसे, because we are not mobilizing the technological capacity. That farming is not something that you have to believe Almighty is going to help you. It is something that has to be incorporated with science, and my perception, my behavior, my attitude or my value system is not leading me to integrate that technology is in action. If it will be facilitating integration of that technology, it will be action. And if the action is not incompatibility to sustainability, it is going to create challenge. इस तरह का इंटीग्रेशन चाहिए। और ये क्वेश्चन मेरे ख्याल से अपने आप में एक बहुत चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चन है जिसको आपको जस्टिफाई करना चाहिए। Environment management requires holistic approach to facilitate diversity, and this is how we have closed down the answer. हमेशा याद रखेंगे that the things for your successful main attempt is not that you don't have information. आप सबने अपनी मेन की तैयारी कर ली है, आपका ऑप्शनल का सिलेबस, जीएस का सिलेबस रेडी है। ये समय है जब आप अपने आप को एक बहुत रिलीजियस, एक बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे में कंटेंट फॉर्मेटिंग प्रैक्टिस देना शुरू करो। और जब आप कंटेंट फॉर्मेटिंग प्रैक्टिस देते हो तब आप रियलाइज करते हो कि मेरे पास कहीं कुछ मिसिंग है जो मुझे फुलफिल करना है। वहीं पर GCP आपकी मदद करता है। For the time being, I'm bidding you goodbye. I'll be taking up more sessions like this. And again, thank you so much. It will not be a disappointing thing. Repeating, just send hi on the WhatsApp on the number shared. I'm just having the requirement of that you are writing me in this year. And once that is done, my team will be sufficiently helping you with all the important framed answers that is going to help you in your up. Bye-bye.